Hi guys, my name is Christopher Meckle. I'm a member here at Harvest Church in Frazee, and I'm here to tell you a story about my life. Hopefully it's encouraging enough for other people to help them in tough times that we're living in today. Let's start off with my childhood. I was born and raised in California, um, and my mother was a single mom for many years, and she followed my grandfather wherever he went. And I think the longest time that we ever stayed in a house was about a year and a half. So you could say that we were gypsies, in a sense. I was raised Southern Baptist. My grandmother, whenever she decided to attend church, then we went. I knew that the Lord was real. Never seen him, but it was something that was around growing up. My mother decided in life that she was going to take a turn for the worst and get into drugs, alcohol, multiple men. I never met my real dad at that time. So life went on that way, and the more drugs that she consumed, the worse things got. She got involved with a gentleman. He liked to hurt kids in a very bad way. So we had to deal with court cases and counseling and a whole road of just chaos. I don't wish that on my enemy. So then my mom continued to go down that path, and we went to a foster home. And my childhood was not good. It just was not. Many years I blame my mom. So grandma took me in for quite a while my mother was in jail. My grandparents played a good role, and then we became too much for them. So I went and moved in with my aunt, who helped raise me, helped me finish high school, go to, I did 2 years of Fresno City on a tech school, and got my ASE certifications to be an automotive repair mechanic. After that, I went down somewhat of the same path of, alcoholism and partying, and very ungodly person in that sense. I was angry all the time. I purposely went out to look for trouble. I called it my anger management. Not a very good way to live, this I tell you, because it followed me in a bad way. So we moved to Minnesota, and my mother lived in Hackensack, Minnesota. And my first town I lived in was Brainerd, Minnesota, and I worked at Mills GM. And slowly but surely, I found my way up north. And I moved in with my parents, and I got involved with the wrong woman. We weren't married. We did have 3 kids, sorry. And things were really bad with her. My mother put us up, still battling alcohol every day. The man that helped raise us, he was a bad heroin addict, and my mother was a meth addict. But they substitute all that for alcohol. So you kind of pick your poison. I guess you can find the devil in either one of them. And then I found myself wondering, is God real? Is this life that I've walked, where was he? And these were all questions that I lived with, and I was mad. I didn't find peace in anything I was doing. I was just walking this world empty and cold. And November, at this time I'm still with my ex, trying to raise our kids, trying to be productive. And we were just cats and dogs fighting all the time. And we broke up. And my mother was having a very hard time. And so November 21st of 2013, my mother called me drunk. her and my grandfather went to the casino and blew my dad's whole check. So she called me to borrow money, and I knew that she was drunk, heavily intoxicated. Normally, I always loan my mom money, and I told her no this time. I actually stood up and I said, I can't keep doing this. There's got to come a point where you grow up. And that was November 21st, midday. And then November 22nd came around, and she had to have woken up and gotten drunk again. At that time, this was about 6, 7 o'clock at night, and I was eating. And I was still with my ex at that time, off and on. I got a brutal screaming phone call from my sister. And then I was even more so in a dark place, and I was even more so upset with the Lord, not understanding. You're so powerful, almighty, but you couldn't save them. And I was blaming myself for not loaning my mom the money. If she wouldn't have did what she did, my dad wouldn't have did what he did, and all of these thoughts racing. So I found myself behind bars. I did 180 days for that, and I paid my debt to society. But I got so much more. I found myself, I was about 40 days incarcerated, and I challenged God, and I said, if you're real, I'm gonna come find you, or you're gonna come find me. And I tied the sheet, and I was getting ready to find my parents and find the Lord, and you're gonna answer some of these questions I have, because I can't hear you, I can't feel you. Everybody says you're real, but things I've seen in my life, I just have a hard time believing it at that time. And about 2 o'clock in the morning, a correctional officer opened up my door crying as I was trying to hang myself, and said that something just told her to come find me, to come check on me. And I knew right then and there that he's listening, and that when bad things are going on in your life, and they can be very ugly, I promise you. So I found myself seeking the Lord every day, every morning, is humbling myself to get on my knees and thanking him. I didn't see the big picture, but I was putting my trust in something better and bigger than me. And my life changed. I finished out my 180 days. I was a cook in there. I washed squad cars. I did the library. I became something they call a trustee. And I don't recommend everybody go there. God pulled me out of a bad place, and the only place that he could get my attention was in a 4x8 foot cell. And when I came out, my ex, her name was Ashley, and we weren't married. I won't say the last name, but her name was Ashley Ann. And I met a gentleman in there, and he says, Chris, I have this person I want you to meet. And I said, whoa, I don't know. I've been having bad luck when it comes to women. And if she's not a God-fearing woman, I just don't think I can see myself there. And my spiritual mom used to come in. She was a jailhouse, she did jailhouse ministry. And she came in and she helped me deal with all my parents' stuff. Mind you, I knew her outside of jail. She just knew that I was there bringing in the word to help me, and I needed it. And my buddy, he said, Chris, her name's Ashley. And I said, no. My ex, her name's Ashley. No, she's a good one, they say. And so now I'm married to this Ashley, and her middle name is Ann. And we have different, obviously, last names, but I think the Lord has a sense of humor. And I'm still married today. It's going on 10 years now. We have a beautiful child together. She's a God-fearing woman. Some days even more so than I am. I would like to say that her strength and her will to seek the Lord is, she keeps me in check, let's just say that. And so then I go to church, avid church member all the time, and it wasn't until I went up front in front of the church and I seek prayer from everybody. Not only did he pull me out of all of that chaos, all of the heartache, the pain and anger, plucked it out, and he wears that, not me. The scars will never go away, and it's never easy, but it gets easy with time and trusting God, knowing that Jesus died for us, knowing that he was risen. And the greatest thing in life is to be able to look back and look at what you've been through. And I feel strongly that I can say that I feel like I walked through hell and I came out unscathed. No marks, couldn't kill me. And he's always, the devil's seeking to destroy, kill everything good. And it was like the Lord says, not him. He's mine. And I'm 38 years old. I will be 38 years old here in a few weeks. My life is 180. My children would never face what I had to go through. I'm financially very stable. My wife is stable, level-headed. No more racing thoughts. When the memory comes, and it very rarely does, but when it does, I will stop what I'm doing. Don't even care if I'm driving. I'll stop what I'm doing to pray and ask him, I don't want this. I can't deal with this. You are bigger and better than I am. You take this. And within seconds, it's like that heavy weight and the burden again is just lifted. So the devil never gives up. And I promise you, I give you my word, there is hope. There is a light at the end of the tunnel, and sometimes we go through things in life, and they are lessons learned. Not only did the Lord bless us with a new found marriage, family, career, after losing everything in my life, he blessed me with help finding my biological father. It all started from an email. Our pastor here, Ryan, was trying to email me. And come to find out, there's a gentleman by the name of Meckle, who is a minister, I believe he's a Lutheran minister, in Washington. And somehow the paths got crossed and miscommunication, but then Cole reached out to me. And then it got further that my life is full of Meckles all over, 2 of which live in Fargo. One that lives in Blaine, Minnesota, and my biological father lives in New Mexico, which I've talked to. He wants us to come out there and visit. I'm wanting him to come here. He said that he would be willing to when the snow was gone. But the Lord has put family, where the devil was taking away my family, the Lord put in tenfold. I couldn't even imagine, having a life like I've been shown from the newfound Meckle family. So much love, God-fearing people, and that want me to be a part of their lives. And for the first time in my life, to where I actually had family that cared unconditionally, like the Lord cares about us, for the well-being, for good health, and just to know me. And again, thanks be to God. Because if it wasn't for an incorrect text message or email, we wouldn't have found my new parents, my new family. And that was God-given. It truly was. And I'm very blessed. And I love our new church, and I love the people here. And I'm just want to reach out to somebody. Maybe this crosses your path, and maybe it helps you. And that is all we're looking for. My name is Meckle again. God bless. And God is good.